The Wolfbane ointment has worn off. You lift the pillow and look beneath it. To your surprise, you discover a small bottle of ointment. A label on the side reads, Wolfbane. The sturdy construction. There's no time. Your heart beats. You look over the book. You turn the journal. The passage ends abruptly. The image of the radiant full moon floods into the church, spilling a circular white light over the strange markings on the floor. You read, "Shine, why early, newborn sun?" You read the "Shine, why early, newborn sun?" when sadly you climb the shrouded Among the items in this grave is a parchment containing the last will and testament of Larman Odnarb, healer. It is dated 1200, the same as the date on the headstone. However, the instructions pertaining to Larman's burial were for him to be placed near his family at the church cemetery. You peer. There is nothing else. This there's no way. You should leave the... It is a collection. Even though you have no interest in... Sign. You are not... The bus. Tombs and tomb. Most of these tombs are the final resting places of past counts of Kalima and their families. They are all securely locked. Most of you climb. Several towering trees. Try as you might. Repressing the urge to Throwing that away would throwing that throw throw that is a it is a gold wedding band. Rocks are synonymous. Don't bother trying to. You peer into the log but see nothing of interest. Don't bother trying to move the rocks. According to this, the tiara has been buried near one of the graves. There is something written near the bottom. You have come. You decide to leave the boards where they are. You look over the. You turn a few. The passage ends abruptly. Though there are many pages left to be written on, it is evident that the final passage was written a number of years ago. How strange. You replace the journal, putting it back where you found it. The pulpit is likely used for things more unholy than prayer. There's no need to do anything to the statue. You know for a fact. Throwing that away would be like to. That is not. That, 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 that is. Nothing happened. Proposing to your possession. Propo. It is a collect. This collection. There's no reason to do that. You have no, you have this place of worship. The monks who inhabit the church may not appreciate you removing their fence. A decrepit old fence stands as a relic from better times, for the church at least. A few sizable plants grow around the church. You have come to the you have You can't, you, the do. You can't. You wrap. You can't, you can't, you can't, you can't. You can't, you can't, you can't, you can't. You can't. Don't throw that into the spring. You can't. You can't. You. You can't. You. 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 You won't be needing another lemon. You can't. You can't. There's nothing. You saw black glow. You did. You can't. A tree. As it is heavier, denser, and larger than yourself, trying to move it would not be such a clever thing to do. You have reached the eastern edge of the Weirwood Forest. Trees surround you on all sides, except to the east, where there is a deep chasm spanned by a rickety-looking bridge. You do not think you have any business wearing it. Gray rocks lit. Don't you like you don't. You are traveling through Weirwood Forest. A large rock mound in the immediate area catches your attention. A small area of... This is a pleasant meadow. You'll need to... The bed is... The bed... You have... The bed... The painting is hanging perfectly straight. The paint... You don't... There's no need to use that there. You can't... You feel as if you could curl up on the mat like a cat. Then remind yourself that you have an important task ahead of you. The house seems small and... You have come to the Church of Kolyma. It is said that all are welcome, and that the monks living here often help those in need. You get no response. You get... A few sizable plants. This place of worship has changed somewhat since you were here last. Now it would appear to be a place of ritual, and that sermons have little to do with anything. The door leads back outside. The image of the radiant full moon floods into the church, spilling a circular white light over the strange markings on the floor. This place of worship has changed somewhat since you were here last. Now you know why the windows are boarded up. You can imagine how the people of Kolyma would react if they glimpsed what really went on in this place. A strange pattern. This place of... A full radiant moon casts its pale light over Kolyma. You find it vaguely disturbing that the church cemetery is the best vantage point from which to view it tonight. You've never been terribly fond of gargoyles, and this one isn't likely to sway your opinion. It is likely that only the most devout believers have been buried in there. Hamish Bite, 1226 to 1258. Besides religious connotation, reverence paid daily as we should, it is a tradesman's irony that a carpenter was killed upon the wood. La Fleur Povence, 905 to 987. The power brought unto this world is as unholy as this sage. Doomed are those that have descended from the blood of a first mage. La Fleur Coco Herboul, 1205 to 1252. The writer wrote until he bled. In his final agony he said, I will not lift my trusty pen till I at last have reached the end. Coco Herboul. Coco. This is the church cemetery. This Judas Morton, 1365 to 1415. Here lies a foolish non-believer, with shame deep as this hole. Even God, though wise and powerful, cannot save his wretched soul. Faith Cinders, 998 to 1029. Alas, my dear, you've come too near to your heart's great desire. It seems that now you've run afoul, and should not have lit that fire. Lester Williamson, 1300 to 1345. Here lies a man who feared all bugs, too scared to even lift his rugs. For if he had, he would have found insects that make little sound, with bites so deadly for their size that surely did cause his demise. Rarlap Niven, 985 to 1015. The jester joked his life away until a quip he made one day. Insulted was a baron's son who had this poor old jester hung. Rebecca Twintle, 1250 to 1273. In that usual daring way of hers, she threw caution to the wind. Late one eve she risked a venture and went out to sea with him. Totally in love she was, so filled with careless whim, that when he threw her overboard, she never thought to swim. Goulash Thompson, 1370 to 1441. Never in all his living years had he ever seen such sights. For hours did he stare at them, those beautiful, dazzling lights. So happy was he that he had been able to live to see this night, but down a cliff he blindly fell, for the lights had been too bright. In this dark hole lies one brave soul whose questing for glory has taken its toll. Charles Bucket, 1189 to 1232. He'd go out in the pouring rain and risk becoming wet. He'd never dry off afterwards, so very sick he'd get. Here lies the Odnarb family. Evidently they were well respected to have their own area. Lyot O'Maleef, 1200 to 1256. She was a lady with strange habits, who as friends kept only rabbits. When time came her hunger due, her friends all wound up in her stew. The other creatures, also bunnies, found this not remotely funny, so their swift revenge they sought. The kitchen in her sleep they brought, heaved her into the large pot, which was, regretfully, much too hot. Bridget O. Troublewater, 1248 to 1299. During the annual house inspection, she spied a mirror and its reflection. For days she lovingly gazed at it, unable to sleep or eat or sit. With the last of her earthly power, there she remained till her final hour. You stop digging when your shovel hits something hard. There is a freshly dug hole beneath one of the headstones. You don't think. Thankfully, These bones have been here for so long that you have no... With bated breath, you open the box. There it is, the tiara. As you retrieve the tiara from its final resting place, you let out a loud, relieved sigh. You feel as if the coming sunrise will be the most glorious sight you will ever behold, considering how close you were to never seeing another again. Now don't delay, you still have to get it back to the castle. You freeze as the wolf's howl sends shivers down your spine. You force yourself to turn and face... nothing. Your anxiety must be causing you to hear things. You rub the wolfbane ointment all over your skin. Without warning, a wolf darts out of the dark forest and dashes towards you, and this time it's running directly at you. Sensing the wolfbane ointment on your skin, the wolf quickly turns and flees back into the forest. The wolfbane ointment has worn off. You shine why early, newborn son. You shine why early, newborn son, when sadly we'd nearly won. Something is wrong here. There is no boat, no boatman, and... no escape. The monk and his pack have tracked you here, and they clearly intend to do nothing less than rip you to pieces. If you're going to do something, now would be a very good time.
I see you have met the Brotherhood of the Pack.
Where were you?
Detained. A man who had assumed your appearance boarded my boat. When we reached the other side, I perceived the flaws of his disguise and dispatched him instantly. The Count has been wary of the Brotherhood of the Pack for many years now. In obtaining what he asked for and ridding this land of their leader, you have served him doubly well this night.
The shrouded ghoul paddles across the toxic lake to the shore on the other side. You re-enter the huge wooden doors and quickly make your way to the castle's main dining room. As expected, you find the Count and Countess awaiting you.
You have performed admirably. Not only have you found the tiara I sought, you have rid me and this land of the deceptive and secretive Brotherhood of the Pack. They have committed many atrocities against my family, such as the deaths of our son and daughter-in-law. I have been forced to remain secluded all these years, unable to serve my homeland as I should, to evade the relentless pursuit of wiping out my entire family line.
Is the Brotherhood really gone? Some of those wolves escaped.
The rest of the pack followed the wolves that ambushed you. However, without their leader, they will find themselves as lost in mind as they are now in body. Whether human, wolf, or any other form, their hastened passage through my swamp will not see a return to their den. Of that I can assure you.
You have trapped them all in the swamp? The entire pack?
An endless flight through the mire awaits them. Should my long-stilled heart ever feel pity again, perhaps one day I shall free them.
As you listen to the Count's cold, unforgiving tone, you thank your lucky stars that he no longer sees you as a threat, at least not for the time being.
I release you from my service, dear king. The nearing dawn no longer signifies an uncertain future for you.
You take the death gem. Finally, you have all 3 stones in your possession. You feel a pang of anticipation as you realize that all you need to do now is take them to the door of destiny.
I wish you the best.
A word of advice, King Graham. Once you have found the lady you seek, protect her with all your strength. Never leave her side, and place no importance above that of her well-being. Give your life for hers if it should ever come to that. Love can last an eternity, but your loved one can be lost in an instant. Heed those words, my king, and farewell.
You climb back into the decrepit rowboat, and the shrouded ghoul ferries you back across the lake.
He did what?
Well, it would appear that our Count's loyalty was to be questioned after all. Keldor has decided to leave us, now that he again has his wife at his side.
No one has ever left my service before.
Yes, Father, it is most regrettable.
It is unthinkable!
Yes, Father, it is quite unthinkable.
It is up to you then, Sister Agatha.
Yes, Father, it is. Pardon?
You will have to deal with it yourself. If Graham dies abroad, the crown will pass to me. And with it, the item will be known to me at long last.
Father, are you sure? It is an ancient legend.
It does exist, and I will find it. Do you hear me, Agatha? Graham is not to return to Daventry alive.
The swamp seems a bit lighter than the last time you were here, and some of the heavy mist has lifted. Day must be dawning. Oh no! The plank you stepped on was a trap. Your leg passed right through it, and now you are very, very stuck. Try as you might, you cannot dislodge yourself.